So everything is ready, so we can get started.
So can we get started, Satya? Yes.
Good morning, learned colleagues. The great Tamil poet Thiruvalluvar states, "Wisdom is a weapon to ward off destruction. It is an inner fortress which cannot be destroyed." Conference gatherings are restricted due to the pandemic situation, but our efforts to achieve wisdom continues. VIT strongly believes the science of today is the technology of tomorrow. When science meets humanity, wonders happen. International Virtual Conference on Advanced Nanomaterials and Applications, VCAN 2020, will be setting one such example. On behalf of Center for Nanotechnology Research, Vellore Institute of Technology, I take immense pride in welcoming you all to the inaugural ceremony. Our heartfelt welcome to the chief guest of this event, Honorable Dr. Ashutosh Sharma, Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, Your Excellency, respected Chancellor, Dr. G. Vishwanathan, Vellore Institute of Technology, scientists, faculty members, and students to the International Virtual Conference on Advanced Nanomaterials and Application with an emphasis on flexible electronic devices, organized by Center for Nanotechnology Research, Vellore Institute of Technology, Vellore. In this pandemic situation, our conference provides a platform to motivate and encourage researchers, industrialists, and scientists across the globe to exchange the state-of-the-art research and to identify future demands in the field of nanoscience and nanotechnology. Our conference holds the promise to answer some world's most immediate concern in medicine, energy, electronics, and environment. Once again, I welcome you all to the inaugural ceremony of International Virtual Conference on Advanced Nanomaterials and Applications with an emphasis on flexible electronic devices. Now I request our chairperson, Dr. A. Nirmala Grace, Director, Center for Nanotechnology Research, to deliver the welcome address.
A very good morning to one and all. Respected Chief Guest, Professor Dr. Ashutosh Sharma, Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, Honorable Chancellor Dr. G. Vishwanathan, Vice President Dr. Shankar Vishwanathan, Pro Vice Chancellor Dr. S. Narayanan, and beloved participants, a very good morning to one and all. On behalf of our Center for Nanotechnology Research, VIT, it's my privilege to welcome our Chief Guest, Dr. Ashutosh Sharma, Secretary, DST, Government of India, who has been kind enough to grace this inaugural ceremony. I welcome our Chancellor, Dr. G. Vishwanathan, Vice President, Mr. Shankar Vishwanathan, Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. S. Narayanan. I am obliged to welcome all the invited speakers and participants who encouraged us to come up with boosted dose of energy even during this COVID-19 pandemic spreading period. The International Virtual Conference on Advanced Materials and Applications, VCAN 2020, with a special emphasis on flexible electronic devices, aims to bring together Indian and international communities, students, scientists, engineers, and stakeholders from academia, government laboratories, industry, and other organizations working in the field of nanoscale science and technology to discuss new and exciting advancements in the field. This conference would serve as an appropriate platform to share novel ideas and research outcomes for the societal needs. Amidst this pandemic situation, this virtual event will bridge researchers across the globe to exchange scientific ideas and knowledge. The conference covers a broad theme on this area to accommodate wide range of interests and to facilitate interdisciplinary collaboration interaction in both academia and industry. The conference will also provide an ideal environment to develop new collaborations and opportunities to meet the experts working on various areas of this field. The three-day conference program has been carefully structured to encourage mutual inspiration and interactive discussions among the students and researchers. The conference will feature excellent special lectures and the number of invited talks focusing on specific themes. The conference will also comprise of special lectures from Nobel laureate Dr. Andrei Konstantin Gaim, Dr. Prashant Kamath, Dr. Yuri Gogotsi, Dr. Andrew V, Dr. Manoj Gupta, Dr. Didi Sharma, Dr. Sebastian from Sweden, and more than 38 lectures from renowned speakers across the globe. Overall, this conference will give the participants a lot of opportunities to explore, collaborate, and discuss on the current and future trends of nanotechnology. Also, we are glad to share that as crowning accomplishment, the prestigious publishing group Royal Society of Chemistry UK and American Chemical Society have come forward to award 15 Best Oral Presentation Awards apart from 5 CNR VAT Young Researcher Awards. We have arranged for a special session on European Union Funding Awareness Lecture and a session from the Royal Society of Chemistry UK. All speakers over the next 3 days have put in tremendous effort and we owe them a debt of gratitude. We received more than 400 abstracts, out of which 75 were selected for presentation at an event. A glance through the list of presentations planned for the next few days reveals the amazing diversity of these applications. I'm sure you'll have fruitful and rewarding exchanges in the next few days. I wish you all a very success with this important conference, and I look forward to learning about the outcome and have an unforgettable experience. Once again, I welcome you all to this international virtual conference on advanced nanomaterials and applications. Thank you.
I welcome Dr. S. Narayanan, Pro Vice Chancellor, Vellore Institute of Technology, to felicitate the virtual gathering.
Sir, mic.
Our Honorable Chancellor, sir, our esteemed Chief Guest, Dr. Ashutosh Sharma, Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, our respected Vice President, our learned colleagues, dear participants, very good morning. I am extremely happy to participate in the inauguration of this wonderful virtual conference, VCAN 2020. I am delighted to note that a Nobel laureate is going to deliver a special lecture, and we are going to have a number of keynote sessions, and a very important person, an eminent academician, and also the Secretary of Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, is going to inaugurate this conference. We are happy to have all the eminent speakers with us in the next 3 days. I'm also happy to note that the awards from RSC and ACS are going to be given, and the publications from Scopus Index publications are going to be there in this conference. I would like to utilize this opportunity to thank the Nobel laureate, Dr. Andrew from University of Manchester, UK, for accepting our invitation on behalf of all of us from VAT to share his valuable experience and expertise with all of us. I would also like to utilize this opportunity to thank our esteemed Chief Guest, Dr. Ashutosh Sharma, for accepting our invitation to be here with us on behalf of the administration of VAT to share his valuable expertise and experience with all of us. In fact, I was just interacting with Dr. Ashutosh before this session. We have invited Dr. Ashutosh a couple of times to VAT, but because of his administrative schedule, hectic schedule, he could not visit us. Today, he can share his valuable experience with all of us. Anyhow, I request you, sir, to visit VAT at your convenience, and it will be a pleasure for all our faculty members, junior faculty members, to interact with an academician, eminent academician like you, sir. So I request you to visit us, sir. I would also like to thank all the eminent speakers from all over the world for accepting our invitation to share their valuable experience with all of us. In fact, Dr. Nirmala Grace has taken over from Dr. J.P. Raina. This center was established by Dr. J.P. Raina. This center is doing a good job. You might be aware, in VAT, we have 10 established centers, and we are establishing 7 more centers in the next couple of years. These 17 centers are organizing 17 virtual conferences in the next 3 months. That is a mandate given to these centers. The main objective of these virtual conferences is only the international collaborations. So we will be getting the international collaborations at the end of the day. And I would like to utilize this opportunity to thank Dr. Nirmala and her team for the wonderful arrangements and the operations they have made to organize this conference. And I hope this conference will be a huge success. Before I conclude, I think there are around 533 participants. For the benefit of the participants, I thought I can just give a very brief overview about VAT. VAT was started as a small college in the year 1984 with 3 branches, namely civil, mechanical, and electronics and communication engineering, with an intake of 180 students. That time, we have been affiliated to University of Madras. In the first batch from the University of Madras, our students have got 8 ranks out of the first 9 ranks. In the subsequent batches also, our students have brought laurels to the institute. Because of our academic excellence, the Government of India, in fact, Ministry of Human Resources Development, they have given us the deemed university status. We have started with 180 students. Today, as our chancellor was just pointing out, we have more than 40,000 students in 4 campuses. In deemed university, we have 2 campuses, Vellore campus, main campus, and Chennai campus, off campus. And we have 2 state private university campuses, one in Andhra, the capital of Andhra, Amaravati, the other one at Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. We have more than 40,000 students in all the 4 campuses. We have got very good students in all our campuses. Our engineering students, they are selected through this VAT engineering entrance examination. It is almost on par with IIT JEE and BITSAT. We have got very good faculty. Our faculty, many of them, they are PhD holders from premier institutions like IITs and IISc. They are also trained abroad. They are coming out with more research output also. In fact, our chancellor was just pointing out, at least in the number of Scopus Index publications, we are on par with the reputed institutions in the country. If I can remember, in the year 2010, our H index was only 15. Now our H index has moved to 102. But the H index of IISc is 240 and IIScs and IITs are 180, 190 and so on. We are trying to improve our quality of research. Even though in number we have increased, we are trying to improve our quality of research. Our faculty are trying very much to improve the quality of research. In fact, the major strength of our VAT is our visionary management, headed by our Honorable Chancellor, ably assisted by our respected Vice President. We have a very good academic system, which we call it as fully flexible credit system and curriculum for applied learning. We follow the Western system in the country. Now, in addition to that, we have good accreditations, national accreditations and international accreditations. If you look at the international accreditation, we have got the prestigious ABET accreditation from USA for many of our BTech programs. In national accreditation, we have got NAC accreditation for 3 cycles, the highest possible grades we have got. We are going for the 4th cycle, probably in the year 2020. I'm very proud to tell you that VAT is one among the very few institutes in the country which is going for NAC accreditation for the 4th cycle. So our chancellor was just mentioning that in the NIRF ranking, among the engineering institutions, our rank is 15. Among the private players, we are number 1 for the last 5 years. In the total among the private and public institutions also, only IITs and couple of NITs are ahead of us. And we are very proud to tell you that in the NIRF ranking, we are ahead in the last 5 years. And world ranking also, if you look at the QS world ranking and THE world ranking, we are in the range of 801 to 1000. If you look at the subject ranking, in the chemical engineering and the electrical and electronics engineering, we are in the range of 301 to 350. In the computer science and IT and also mechanical and manufacturing, we are in the range of 401 to 450. And engineering technology, if you take as a whole subject, we are in the range of 401 to 450. Above all, our Chancellor and Dr. Ashutosh Sharma was congratulating us for getting the IOE status. You might be aware, the government of India has recognized only 20 institutes in the country, 10 public institutions and 10 private institutions as institution of eminence. And we are proud, very proud to tell you that VAT is one among the 10 private institutions which has been recognized as institution of eminence. The mandate given by the government is we have to become one of the top 500 universities in the world ranking in the next 10 years. But our vision is we got to become one of the top 500 universities in the next 5 years. We are working towards that, and I think I'm very confident that we'll be able to reach top 500 in the next 5 years. It is possible. I'd like to borrow the words of our Chancellor. He's a very positive man, and he's showing us also, we are following him. We'll be able to reach the top 500 in the next 5 years. We are very confident on that. I would like to stop here. I wish the deliberations of this conference a grand success. I wish you all the very best. Thank you for your kind attention. Thank you.
I welcome Your Excellency, respected Dr. G. Vishwanathan, Chancellor, Vellore Institute of Technology, to deliver the presidential address.
Good morning, Dr. Ashutosh Sharma, our chief guest, Secretary of the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, respected Vice President Shankar Viswanathan, Pro-Vice Chancellor Dr. Narayanan, Dr. Nirmala Grace and the team of the Center for Nanotechnology, scientists and professors participating from all over the world. Very good morning to you. I'm happy that Dr. Sharma has agreed to be the chief guest today. I happened to be in Parliament from 1967 to 77, and I had seen all the ministries and departments. I am an admirer of the Department of Science and Technology. I always remember once we invited the Minister for Science and Technology to Vellore, about maybe 10, 15 years ago, and openly I told him on this stage that you have the advantage of presiding over a department which is totally free from corruption. I don't know whether I should have made this statement, but I did make it. So this is a wonderful department doing very good work in the areas of science, technology, research and development. So I'm happy that Dr. Sharma is here with us today. I hope he will be here with us in Vellore after some time. I would like to congratulate the Center for Nanotechnology for having arranged this conference. This is one of the biggest conferences, mega conference, which have been arranged this year with an emphasis on flexible electronic devices, nanotechnology. The future of science and technology is now revolutionizing in all areas of science and technology, from healthcare, energy, environment, and electronics. I would like to briefly give the origin of nanotechnology. The ideas and concepts behind nanoscience and nanotechnology started with a talk by physicist Richard Feynman at a meeting in Caltech, California Institute of Technology in 1959. Over a decade later, Professor Norio Taniguchi coined the term nanotechnology. It was not until 1981, with the development of the STM, scanning tunneling microscope that could see the individual atoms, that modern nanotechnology began. Once the scientists had the right tools, such as the STM and also AFM, atomic force microscope, the age of nanotechnology was born. So it is the science to manipulate individual atoms and molecules. This is a frontier area that engages almost every discipline from chemistry to medicine in the study and application of extremely tiny materials. It is a rapidly expanding area of research with huge potential to revolutionize our lives and to provide technological solutions to our problems. Tailoring the properties of materials on a molecular level offers the potential for improvement in device performance or applications across the entire range of human activity, from medicine to cosmetics and food, from information and communication to entertainment, from earthbound transport to aerospace, from future energy concepts to environment and climate change, from security to cultural heritage, etc. To cater to the need of this emerging area, VIT has established the Nanotechnology Center with the state-of-the-art facilities on par with the leading laboratories. I am glad that the center is collaborating with various national and international laboratories to steadily grow in pace with the technology development. With a plethora of applications, this conference has brought the leading experts and researchers across the globe on a common platform to discuss the current trends and future aspects of nanoscience and nanotechnology. This conference will be a platform to bring together students, scientists, engineers, and stakeholders from academia, government, laboratories, industry, and other organizations across the globe to discuss new and exciting advancement in this field. I strongly believe that this conference will facilitate in sharing the new ideas of scientific findings to meet the societal needs, provide opportunities to develop new collaborations, and meet the experts working on various disciplines across the world. I'm happy to learn that the conference has many highlights, including 6 special lectures and 36 keynote talks by renowned scientists from 30 countries. It is indeed proud to hear that to know that Dr. Andre Constantine Gaim, Nobel laureate in physics in 2010, who discovered graphene, will be delivering his lecture tomorrow and enlighten the scientific community. It is indeed good news to hear that more than 3 participants, various countries across the world, have registered to reap the benefits of this conference. To encourage and support researchers during the COVID-19 pandemic, the conference is tied up with leading journals for publications of papers submitted to this conference. As a special note, the leading publishers, Royal Society of Chemistry and American Chemical Society, will be awarding the oral presentations. With many such aspects, this is a well-organized event, and at this note, I congratulate Dr. Nirmala Grace, Director of the Center, and her team for the wonderful scientific event amidst this pandemic. I wish the participants and to get benefit from this institution, I wish the 3-day conference all success. And once again, I would like to thank our chief guest, Dr. Ashutosh Sharma, for his accepting to be the chief guest today. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your wonderful speech, sir. I request Dr. R. Nirmala, Center for Nanotechnology Research, to introduce our chief guest.
Dr. Vimla, we cannot hear you. Turn on your mic.
Respected luminaries of the ceremony, honorable chief guest, my dear learned colleagues, and the most valued participants. A warm good morning to one and all.
Dr. Vimla, I think if you keep it short, I mean, whatever you have written there, just read half of it. So
Okay, sir.
Get done quickly with that.
Yeah. It is my pleasure to introduce our esteemed chief guest, Professor Ashutosh Sharma, Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. Professor Sharma is the Institute Chair Professor, INAE Vishweshwaraya Chair Professor, Coordinator, DST Unit of Nanoscience and Center for Environmental Science and Engineering. He is the founding coordinator of DST Thematic Unit of Excellence on Soft Nanofabrication and Chairman of Center for Environmental Science and Engineering, IIT Kanpur. Professor Sharma's research contributions are highly interdisciplinary, bridging niche areas in nanotechnology. These include soft nanofabrication, thin films and nanosystems, MEMS, NEMS, nano micro patterning and fabrication, nanomechanics, smart and functional materials, surfaces and coatings, and nanocomposites for energy, health, and environment. His pioneering research contributions have been published in around 300 peer-reviewed research papers and over 100 invited keynote conference presentations. A person with limitless energy, Professor Sharma deeply believes that any new idea shall eventually result in a useful product for the society. This attitude has inspired him to file over several patents which are at the various stages of fructification. Professor Sharma is an elected fellow of the Indian National Science Academy, the Indian National Academy of Engineering, the World Academy of Sciences, and the Asia Pacific Academy of Materials. Upon his outstanding contributions to the cause of science and society, Professor Ashutosh has been recognized with several honors and awards by various scientific community, including Infosys Prize in Engineering and Computer Science, the TWAS Prize in Engineering Sciences, J.C. Bose Fellowship, Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize in Engineering Sciences, Homi J. Baba Award of UGC, Distinguished Alumnus Award of IIT Kanpur, and the Lifetime Achievement Award of the Indian Science Congress. With all these credentials, Dr. Sharma, with the responsibility of taking our country forward, leads India to become a super paradigm in science and technology. Now, I request Dr. Ashutosh Sharma to deliver the inaugural address. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Namaskar, good morning to all who have joined us. I'm so delighted that VIT is hosting this very important international conference in nanotechnology, in nanoscience, and the importance of the conference we can gauge from the fact that the top leadership of VIT, indeed of the entire Vellore University is here, especially Professor Vishwanathan and the entire team. I want to congratulate also Professor Nirmala Grace for heading nanotechnology in VIT and doing a great job of it. We heard how VIT has been going from strength to strength and now being an institute of eminence. It brings a special responsibility to the institute, to the university, to the entire leadership in having research and teaching, the excellence and research and teaching combined to take it forward. Am I audible? Is everything okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. All right. It's better to ask that first and then not go on for another 5 minutes and then learn that nothing was heard, because I don't even know what I speak, so I can't repeat it. It's really fantastic. You see, the time of virus that we are living in now, it has taken much from us. Is going to take some more. But I'm really, if you want to be positive about it, think about the good things is going to live with us. So even when we go beyond the age of virus, beyond the times of virus, think about the meeting we have today. It's so fantastic that you are able to get such, grand masters of nanotechnology here. If it was a physical meeting, you would not be able to reach such a large number of people, and that we would not maybe have the advantage of listening to all these fantastic speakers that you have lined up. So similarly, I'm sure there are many messages that we would take forward from the time of COVID-19. As long as we come out of this crisis 10x stronger than we went in, then it has all the sacrifice and hard times that we have gone through will not be in vain. So I understand that Professor Andre Geim will talk about graphene. He's the grandfather of graphene. Professor Prashant Kamath, as we all know, that he's done pioneering work and continues to do it in photoelectrochemistry, catalysis, environmental sciences, and so on. And then you have Professor Yuri Gogotsi, a very distinguished scientist, everything related to carbon nanotechnology and a whole galaxy. And I understand that when I looked at the brochure, all the important topics which are being covered here, the whole galaxy, the whole spectrum of nanoscience and nanotechnology, going from flexible electronics to synthesis of functional nanostructures, to thin films, to catalysis of all kinds, to energy, to energy storage, to environment, to hydrogen energy, biomaterials, biomedical devices, and so on, sensors. So this is very heartening indeed. It's been the past in India when I remember that the nanotechnology activities started in India about 20 years ago. Professor Deepankar Chakravarti was the first chair from DST starting these nano activities. And soon after that, Professor C.N.R. Rao started the Nano Mission, which has been going on for about 15 years now, and has done great things. I have been a beneficiary of that myself. Early days, perhaps the very first projects and centers. So I have seen the evolution of nanotechnology in the country and what it has been able to do. It has created humongous human resources. You see, when we started, there was zero number of people working in nanotech. There was, there was, of course, excitement, there was the optimism for the future, but there was no knowledge. So people working in different areas could rapidly re-image themselves in nanotechnology, and we started all this work. People came from different backgrounds, but now nanotechnology has acquired an identity of its own. Of course, it's all pervasive. Everything we do, well, it has some now a nano element in it. So it's interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, and it's about solving problems. These are exciting times. The Nano Mission, it set up huge infrastructure in the country. I think altogether must have spent just through Nano Mission more than 3,000 crores over the years, setting up infrastructure, centers, projects. And because nano is all pervasive, it's not limited to Nano Mission. Of course, for example, Ministry of IT, Electronics, they set up several centers. Our imprint program, which is done between MHRD and DST, 50-50 partnership, several projects related to nanotechnology, and so on. So it's really distributed. And so I'm very happy that we have been able to do all that. See, when we look at science, the way I look at it, science is not really as mechanical engineering, chemistry, physics, material science. Those compartments of knowledge are good for undergraduate teaching. But if we want to solve a problem, the problem does not tell me that this is a problem of mechanical engineering or chemistry alone. All the challenges we have today are basically interdisciplinary. There is no getting away from it. Now, interdisciplinary is not a lip service. Okay, we have been talking about it for a very long time. Oh, interdisciplinary. In fact, the entire concept of interdisciplinary is a misunderstanding. To my mind, there is no interdisciplinary because there is no disciplinary to begin with. So that disciplinary, the concept of disciplinary, we have invented for the convenience of teaching our undergraduates so they can have a tag, they can have a label that finds them a job. It is not about problem solving, because in a real job, you have a team of people who are solving problems. I mean, look at the problem of water, energy, health, transport, environment, climate. These are not problems that belong to a discipline. So you see, if we can seed teams that are into problem solving, instead of saying, look, I only know this tool and I don't really care about the problem, I care about the tool, right? Then while it's good to have tools, we have to reshape new tools to solve new problems. I remember about 20 years ago, I had set up the first AFM in IIT Kanpur. I was very excited. I said, hey, this is great. I can see the little things which nobody has seen before. To boldly go, as they say in Star Trek, where no man has gone before, right? It was very inspiring times and stuff. But rapidly, after 3 years, I realized that this is great to have tools, but unless we would match them with brilliant ideas, with creative ideas, with a team that would solve problems, all of these tools would become new shrines where we go and offer flowers and worship, but they would not be put to effective use. So this is very important that we, our young people, you see, India has a great advantage, which is a demographic dividend. It's got big markets. It's got very great design capabilities. These are the strengths on which we have to build. Now our Prime Minister said, Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-sufficient India. What are the foundations of that India? You see, demographic dividend, 65% India younger than 35. This advantage will not be there forever. Another 30, 35 years, and we would be an aging society like everybody else. So universities today play such an important role. One cannot overemphasize this at all. This is the time to take control. Another 30 years, we have missed the opportunity totally. So this is such a great, huge opportunity, but responsibility for the excellent universities like VIT to make the best of this. Um, I was talking about nanotechnology, NanoMission, what we have been able to do. You see, I said I don't look at science technology as compartments, but I look at them more like 5 M's of doing things. These 5 M's are mechanics, which is understanding of things, materials, we need material to make anything, methods, maybe of synthesis, maybe measurements, maybe whatever. So mechanics, materials, and methods, we have taken good care of them through the Nano Mission, right? But the next 2 M's, which are related to machines and devices, that has been the second phase of nanotechnology, nanoscience mission. We have made some progress. Our major weakness has not been in our knowledge base. Our major weakness has been is translation into opportunities. So it is a connect between the lab and the industry and the market, which remains a weak link. There's absolutely no doubt about it. So going into phase 3 of Nano Mission, nanotechnology, this is what we need to emphasize. We are already masters of materials. We are already masters of mechanics, whether you call it nanomechanics, you call it whatever, and methods and infrastructure and human resources. So last M is actually manufacturing. So where we are woefully inadequate. And so this is not really a fault of universities and students and faculty and scientists. Not necessarily. I'm not implying that at all, because I'm a scientist myself, I'm a professor myself, so I understand what the weaknesses are. So this is about going forward in the future. What is it that we need to emphasize in this mission, Nano Mission, as well as outside of it, is basically 2 things: quality and relevance. See, India is already number 3 in the number of scientific publications in the world. We are also number 3 in nanoscience and technology related publications. So what does it mean? It means that we already have arrived there. We need to worry now about the quality and relevance. To give you an example, you see that we have to move from being incremental to being profound. And that comes from the confidence that we would instill in our students, in our faculty, that look, you don't have to be only followers, you can truly be leaders. And this does not happen overnight, because it's a cultural change, and we have to work very hard on bringing that cultural change in us. So it's going from incremental to profound. It's about converting our knowledge to technology, converting our technology to opportunities. Basically, we have been focusing on inventions, which is very good. We need inventions, but now we also have to focus equally on innovation. Invention and innovation are orthogonal to each other. They are independent of each other processes. So, which means invention converts resources into knowledge. Innovation converts knowledge into new opportunities. So these are complementary to each other. Invention together with innovation completes the circle of knowledge. Everything should be sustainable. So knowledge should be sustainable. It's not just creating knowledge, but also consuming knowledge. And for that, I think involving industry and market at an early stage is very necessary. And this is what we have learned. One of the things from the days of COVID-19. Look, 3 months ago, India was making no PPEs. India was making no ventilators, no great disinfectants, no oxygen producing machines, no PCR kits or new methods of diagnosis. Within 2 months, despite all the constraints, today we are at the forefront of all of these technologies, and it's going for the mass manufacturing. PM said, we were making 0 PPEs. Today, you can make world-class PPEs, even new innovative materials and designs at a scale of many lakhs per day. So you see, how did this happen? There are many significant lessons for us in it, for our scientists, for our industry, for everybody. One of those lessons, I have been in the middle of all of this, every day sitting up to midnight and seeing what's going on. What is it that need to be done? If somebody needed money, we got money to them within one day. This is a government department, right? It used to take 6 months. We said, if you have an idea and you are ready to convert it, we will get the cash over to you within 1 week or 2 days, right? And it really happened. There was a very clear purpose, there was a very clear goal, and all the stakeholders were together in it, cooperating with each other rather than competing with each other. Now, you see, the major model of doing research in science is competition, which is very good because it is driven by individual brilliance, creativity, and we want to encourage that. But at the same time, there are problems that require cooperation rather than competition, and that is a cultural issue. And so we bring in the value, the elements of cooperation to solve problems. Indeed, in fact, I'm very happy to see that even in your conference, there's a kind of co-participation of two competitors, the major global competitors in chemistry publications. So this is the Royal Society of Chemistry and the American Chemical Society. Both of them are represented here. I'm sure that their representatives are talking to each other, maybe learning from each other the tricks of the trade. And this is how it should be. So while I compete with my neighbor, and that's natural, right? But at the same time, we must understand and value the value cooperation and what it would bring. There are certain things that happen because of competition, and there are certain things that happen because of cooperation and not in the absence of it. There are many things that would remain with us. I would just conclude. Yes, I think we are getting to the deadline, to the end of time. So what I wanted to say, is about recognizing the push and pull systems of knowledge. Push happens from a place like VIT because you have the knowledge. The pull happens from the market and the industry and the startup. And this very good connection between them, a very good direction, a very good vision. Other words, Lakshmi and Saraswati working together. This is alone is a mantra. And if we know the personality of Saraswati and Lakshmi, then we know that it's very hard for Saraswati to chase Lakshmi. But Lakshmi can approach Saraswati if Saraswati can make more money for Lakshmi. Okay. And so this is understanding the value of knowledge, is also understanding the value of new opportunities. I don't mean money as just for the sake of it. I mean, there are challenges in our nation, in our society, new jobs to be created by crores, new opportunities to be created by crores, and socio-economic opportunities that have to be addressed by the knowledge that we have. I mean, we don't lack knowledge, we don't lack young energy, we don't lack intelligence. So what initiative? What is it that we lack culturally, that we have not in our education molded the value of innovation, molded the value of converting our knowledge into opportunity? So final thing that I wanted to say, very important for research. In all my life, I have seen that it's not much point being incremental. If four people, no matter how great people, no matter how great universities, if somebody has done it before, and I'm only going to fill a little corner, it's not worth it, because all the effort and time and resources that will go into it are not commensurate with the output and outcome, right? Even my own life, I have written more than 350 publications. Now, okay, last 5 years, I have not been able to do much in terms of research. But before that, I just, about 15, 20 years, And before that, there were not many resources, to do research. Anyway, uh, more than 350 publications, maybe 20 patents, whatever, startups. When I look back on all of this, I say, look, what would have happened if I did not publish 350 papers? Suppose I published only 70. If I really look at them as little older men now, then I say, look, it would have been okay if I had published 70, which actually remain in somebody's memory, that somebody actually read them. Maybe something came out of it, right? And if I had used all that time and energy to focus on things that were more profound, perhaps I could have done something much better, right? Instead of just encouraging people to do publish. Remember, our PhD students are not publishing factories for us. They have a life of their own. They have to be trained in a way that they would become fully empowered to deal with the real world, not just deal with academia. And this is a very critical issue. We don't have time to discuss this, but this is a central point in all our higher education today. If there is any weakness in higher education today, it is this, that we really don't know how to train our PhD students for them to be fully prepared for the future, to be fully prepared for the real world in which they are going to work and leave an imprint and a mark. So, see, I keep saying I'm concluding, but really in 30 seconds, I would conclude for sure. And so this is, I did, because this nanotechnology conference, I did a Google search, let's say photo electro catalysis, right? You would get more than 150,000 papers. Then you limit this search only to graphene materials. You will get more than 100,000 papers. So I would submit to you, sirs and madam and students and everybody here, is it really worth it to take another piece of graphene and put some more stuff on it, right? And say, oh, well, okay, yeah, this works as an electrode, and we can dope it in different ways, sulfur, phosphorus, nitrogen, whatever. We can do 3 at a time, 2 at a time, then we put 3 different, oxides on it, nanoparticles. They are all going to produce the same results. You see, all these permutation combinations, they do not bring in new insights, and they also do not produce superior material. So to my mind, there are only 2 things that we need to look at. Is it producing a superior performance material, or is it bringing a new insight, right? So if it's neither of the two, we might as well not do it, because there are already 100,000 papers. I add one more, what is it going to do? Not very much. In fact, I saw a paper in Nano Letters. This paper is that they put some bird droppings on graphene, and then they tested it, and it performs as well as you would produce with a lot of nanoparticles at a great cost in the lab and put them on graphene. See, sorry for saying this, any shit that you put on graphene would produce the same results. Okay, when you test it for supercapacitor or batteries or any kind of electrode or sensors, this is because the bird droppings already are, have nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, whatever, right? So my short point in saying this is very hard for me to communicate with my students or with anybody, because people feel little offended, right? I don't mean to offend anybody. I don't mean, to create any, offense by saying any of this. The matter of the fact is that to become profound, to become leaders, to leave a mark, both on our economy and our knowledge systems, we have to take the lead in being leaders. And just forget about this whole thing that for 100 years we have been following what happens in Harvard, what happens in MIT, what happens somewhere else. They're all doing great, but we have to become great ourselves. And so thank you very much for inviting me to join all of you. It's a great day, and this is going to be a great conference. And I wish everybody all the very best in getting the maximum out of this conference. Thank you very much. Sorry, we overshot the time a little bit. My apologies. Have a great time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for your inspiring speech, sir. Now, I request Professor George Jacob, Center for Nanotechnology Research, Vellore Institute of Technology, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Honorable Chief Guest Dr. Ashutosh Sharma, Secretary of DST, Government of India, respected Chancellor, Vice President, Pro-Vice Chancellor, dear colleagues, researchers, and students from countries across the world, a graceful good morning to one and all. I, on behalf of the Center for Nanotechnology Research, VAT, take immense pleasure in delivering the auto tanks for the special occasion of VCAN 2020. It is my privilege to express my gratitude to our Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Ashutosh Sharma, Secretary, DST, Government of India, for his kind presence and very inspiring inaugural address. I express my deep sense of gratitude to our Honorable Chancellor, Dr. G. Vishwanathan, for his continuous support, guidance, and encouragement. My profound thanks to our respected Vice President, Mr. Shankar Vishwanathan, for gracing this occasion. I thank our Pro-Vice Chancellor, Dr. S. Narayanan, for his support and guidance. My heartfelt thanks to our Registrar, Dr. K. Satyanarayanan, for his guidance in conducting this conference. I am honored to have this great opportunity to thank the notable speakers of this conference, Professor Andrew Gaim, Nobel laureate, Dr. Yuri Gogokshi, and Dr. Prashant V. Kamath, who have accepted our invitation to deliver the special lectures. My sincere thanks to all the invited speakers for accepting our invitation to share their research experiences and enlighten our participants. I thank all the registered participants for their overwhelming response in participating in this event. I register my profuse thanks to Dr. A. Nirmala, Director, Center for Nanotechnology Research, VAT, who had been instrumental in organizing this conference. I express my sincere thanks to VAT management for their continuous support and encouragement for conducting this event. Thank you.
Thank you all for your presence in our inaugural ceremony of VCAN 2020. Next keynote session will commence shortly.
Thank you, Professor Ashutosh Sharma. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
When is the next session?
When is the next session, madam? Dr. Nirmala?
Mike.
Madam, sir, it's going to start at 11:30.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you,
Done
sir.
very well.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank
sir.
you for joining, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.